Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? Yes, you have to wonder about what inspires some of the different music that's ever been written for us. I saw that little thing with a cat and I had to laugh. I've heard all kinds of stories about what has inspired people to write some of the hit songs that have been out there, and some of them are pretty funny. Anyways, yes, you guys, I hear you. I know. I see what the other people are saying. More and more intensely now, they're starting to come out with... Sudani said that the Iraqi rate is going to be 348. Now it's 390. Wait, it moved up to 417. Isn't it amazing how it continues to just spread? And nobody has any receipts whatsoever. Where are they getting this information from? There's not even news articles out there outside of the bloggers who are putting out this kind of information. So where do you guys see where Al-Sudani has said he's going to change the exchange rate to over $3? I don't see it anywhere. But having said that, let's get into some articles that might make you feel inspired. Because I don't always want to be Debbie Downer, okay? Before we get started, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. And if you're not a subscriber, please do so. Because when you do, it helps out the channel. And I certainly do appreciate it. If you're thinking about buying gold and silver, head on over to our friends at Money Metals Exchange. The link will be down below in the description. If you are a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy Silver. Yes, it has changed. PIMPY-SILVER. So if you're watching this video and it's an older video, make sure you check on current videos because the code is going to be changing from time to time from now on. Also, I can be found on other platforms. Everybody knows I have my own website, Pimpy's News Network. Over here, I post videos that I can't get away with over on YouTube. Also, I have a group on Facebook called Pimpy's Investment Chat. Over here, we do talk about gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, as well as foreign currency investments. Come on over here and join us. It's free to do so. You can also come follow me on Twitter, MeWe, YouTube, and Odyssey. The links for all these platforms will be down below in the description. So for whatever reason, if I get removed off of one platform, you could find me on the others. For those of you looking for my address, there it is right here. Go ahead and pause the video and write it down and feel free to reach out to me. One more quick song reference. If you look at this picture, can you guess what hit song this inspired? That is Chicken and Eggs.
The mother and child reunion is only a motion away.
Yes, Paul Simon. A mother and child reunion, don't you get it? Said he was eating chicken and eggs and thought to himself, talk about reuniting a mother with its child. And then a song came out, A Mother and Child Reunion is only emotion as in a scoop from your fork. Okay, enough being sidetracked. Now there's other articles out there, but let's focus in the areas in which people are interested in. Now, I've been saying this a whole lot recently that, look, Iraq is at the mercy of the United States, who hold their reserve currencies. Which means if we want to put the squeeze on them, we can. And this is most likely why you haven't seen Iraq turn to gold-backed dollars like Russia. Because almost all of their $100 billion in reserve assets are sitting with the United States. An economist, Swift Platform came in favor of Iraq. How? That's a good question. According to all the recent news articles, the reason why the Iraqi Dinar is losing so much value is because Iraq is being punished, so to speak, for laundering money to countries that should not have U.S. dollars. It says right here, Al-Sadi believes that the platform for selling the dollars, Swift, came in favor of Iraq and will reflect positively on the strength of the economy and traders. So once they get their ducks in a row and are no longer trading with actual currencies but doing it electronically, I think you're going to see the Iraqi dinar really start to creep up here quickly in its value because according to all the articles, that's the one thing holding it down. Now we know that Al-Sudani's people were supposed to meet today, as a matter of fact, with the U.S. delegations to talk about what's going on with the currency situation There hasn't been a whole lot spoken about it, not yet anyways, but I'm sure the news will come out here shortly. It said Al-Sadi said to the news the measures taken by the government in distributing the items of the food basket, as well as including 7 million people in a social welfare network, as well as procedures of the central bank with regards to converting currencies to passengers at $5,000 per passenger. In addition to the treatment trips, if this situation stabilizes, it will certainly affect exchange rates and the dollar. Yeah, of course it is. Because what's happening is exactly what I said was going to happen. Iraq is lining themselves up with the New World Order. And the New World Order, which is the World Economic Forum, has created a new SWIFT system in which they could keep track of every damn transaction that's out there. Sidi explained that the platform to sell the dollar came in favor of Iraq as the allocation of a window for traders reflects on the strength of the economy and traders because it will separate the right trader from the fake ones. Remember, there was people out there who were pretending to sell goods to countries with overpriced invoices as a way to smuggle money, and I'm talking about US dollars, out of Iraq. He pointed out that the real trader will open a bank credit and will import good goods instead of bad goods, adding during the opening of the accreditation, the quality and specification of the goods will be adhered to. He also pointed out in the event of any dispute, there are parties that will judge those disputes between the beneficiary bank and the sending bank, and with the knowledge of the U.S. Federal Reserve and the Central Bank of Iraq, and all parties intervened through the SWIFT system, which includes 11,000 banks. So with everybody saying that the rate's going to change to $3.14, $3.22, $3.48, $4.17, hike. Dollar closes below 1,720 dinars per US dollar. It is going in the wrong damn direction. Said the Baghdad Stock Exchange closed on Thursday evening on a rise in dollar exchange rates against the Iraqi dinar. Yeah, still, again, I just don't understand how that's possible. They're using the US dollar to crush dollars around the world. It's obvious as hell. Pakistan now is somewhere around $3 billion in their foreign asset reserves, so they're almost drained of all their reserves. Vietnam was drained of a huge portion of their reserves. Sri Lanka almost lost all of their reserves. There's a bigger event taking place, you guys. You guys got to see the bigger picture. We went from a fixed exchange rate of 1,450 dinars for every dollar to where over there on the exchange, people are getting them at 1,712 dinars for every dollar. You want that number to shrink, not get bigger. Now, we know that al-Sudani, along with a lot of his other cabinet members, have been in several meetings talking to people about what they need to do to stabilize the economy as well as stabilize their currency, because people are getting at their wits' end, and they're starting to blame the government for this, and this includes, of course, the Prime Minister. So if he is going to stick to his guns and go to early election, he's not going to have the ability to be reelected if the people are pissed at him. So in here, this article goes on and on about how some banks just didn't qualify. They didn't do anything necessary to make sure that they were confirmed to get into the system or contribute in any way, shape, or form. And because of that, they were excluded now from selling dollars. So here you go. Let's get into this a little bit more. You can see right here that people have been protesting. We don't hear a lot about it over here, but they are, again, at their wits' end. They are. They're one of the richest nations, but yet have some of the poorest people. And there's no reason for it. Targeting Iran, U.S. tightens Iraq's dollar flow, causing pain. In the recent weeks, Iraq's currency has taken a plunge, largely as a result of newly imposed measures that have restricted dollar transfers from the United States. You know, I would be pissed too if my country was suffering because it was under the control of another country. So basically, the United States controls the kind of damage that can be inflicted over there on the economy and dollar flow of Iraq, and that's exactly what's going on. It said for months, the United States has restricted Iraq's access to its own dollars, okay? To its own dollars. Not any other dollars, but to Iraq's own dollars, trying to stomp out what Iraq officials describe as a rampant money laundering that benefits Iran and Syria. Iraq is now feeling the crunch with the drop in the value of its currency and public anger blowing back against their prime minister. That's what he didn't want. The exchange rate of the Iraqi dinar has jumped to around 1,750 dinars to a dollar at the street exchanges in some parts of the country, compared to the official rate of 1,460 dinars to the dollar. So, Mustafa al-Karari, a member of the Parliamentary Budget Committee, told the state news agency that the central bank must meet the requirements of the Federal Reserve to reduce the scarcity of hard currency in the country. He said new domestic procedures would be rolled out to improve access to currency, while the delegation of Iraq officials will travel to the United States for negotiations on Friday. The devaluation has also sparked protest. If it persists, analysts said, it could change the mandate of the government formed in October after a year-long political stalemate. This would be putting a crunch on the coordinated framework. Said the dinar's deterioration comes even though Iraq's foreign currency reserves are at an all-time high of around $100 billion, pumped up by spiking global oil prices that have brought increasing revenues to the petroleum-rich nation. This is what I was saying, to strengthen their currency. You know, Iraq has done some great things. Their foreign reserves are up to around $100 billion. They almost doubled their gold reserves over the last year or so as well. So these are the steps necessary to not only make but keep the Iraqi dinar value strong. But accessing that money is a different story. Since the U.S. invasion of 2003, Iraq's foreign currency reserves has been housed at the United States Foreign Reserves, giving the Americans significant control over Iraq's supply of dollars. The Central Bank of Iraq requests dollars from the Fed and then sells them to commercial banks and exchange houses at the official exchange rate through a mechanism known as a dollar auction. In the past, daily sales through the auctions have exceeded 200 million per day. Remember, I was speaking about this in the past about how the auctions were being used to do illegal activities that benefited Iran. Ostensibly, the vast majority of the dollars sold in the auctions are meant to go to purchases of goods imported by Iraqi companies. But the system has long been porous and easily abused, multiple Iraqi banks and political officials told the press. U.S. officials confirmed to the AP that they suspected the system was used for money laundering, but declined to comment in details on the allegations or the new restrictions. It said for years, large quantities of dollars were transferred out of the country to Turkey, the UAE, Jordan, Lebanon through gray market trading, using fake invoices for overpriced items, a financial advisor to the Iraq Prime Minister said, speaking on condition of anonymity, blah, blah, blah. So you can see right here, they would inflate the invoices, but were paid to launder dollars, with most of them sent to Iran and Syria, which are under U.S. sanctions, leading to complaints from the American officials. Syria, Turkey, and Iran used to benefit from the dollar auctions in Iraq. Right here, it's going to bring up a problem that I've mentioned before, and this is we're talking about al-Kalawi and, of course, Maliki, a member of one of Iraq's Iran-backed militia who spoke on condition of anonymity because it was not authorized to speak publicly on the subject, said the majority of Iraq's banks are owned indirectly by politicians and political parties that have also used the dollar auctions to their benefits. That's why when they devalued the currency, they were pissed because they were losing millions of dollars. So that's a conflict of interest, and they should pass laws that prohibit politicians from owning or being part of the ownership of any bank. So what are the steps that are being taken? It said, amongst other steps, at the request of the U.S., the Central Bank of Iraq started using an electronic system for transfers that required entering detailed information on the intended end recipient of the requested dollars. 100 central bank employees were trained by the Fed to implement the new system, the Prime Minister's financial advisor said. So there they are, making sure they are in lockstep with the WEF, getting into the new SWIFT system, as we saw in the other article, which has surprisingly passed them for their test. You can see right here how this SWIFT system is already working overtime to flesh out all the corruption. It said the system started rejecting transfers and invoices that used to be approved by the central bank. Around 80% of the transactions were being rejected. Ouch. That's a lot of business. The amount of dollars sold daily in auctions plummeted down to 69.6 million in January from 257.8 million 6 months earlier. Far fewer of the dollars are going towards buying imports as well, down around 34% from 90. So you can see how that's affecting the Iraqi dinars. Even when transactions were approved, it takes banks up to 15 days to get the funds rather than 2 or 3 days. So they slow down the speed in which the Iraqi banks could get the dollars, really putting a squeeze on them. Unable to get the dollars at the official price through banks, he said traders turned to the black market to buy dollars, causing their price to rise. That's why the market rate for the dinar is at 1,750 dinars for every $1. The gap between the official rate and the market rate, the gap is getting way too big. So you can see right here the steps that the Fed is taking to make sure that they monitor what goes on in Iraq and with their money, and as well as the system of keeping Iraq's oil revenues at the Fed was originally imposed by the UN Security Council resolutions as of 2003 after the 2003 ouster of Saddam Hussein by the US-led invasion. Later, Iraq chose to maintain the system to protect its revenues against potential lawsuits, particularly in connection with Iraq's 1990s invasion of Kuwait. The new U.S. restrictions come at a time of increased tensions between the U.S. and Iran. Negotiations over a nuclear deal are floundering. Washington has imposed new sanctions and condemned Iran for cracking down on protesters, providing drones for Russia to use in Ukraine. Also in Iraq, allegations came to light in October that over $2.5 billion in Iraqi government revenues were embezzled by a network of businesses and officials from the country's tax authority. This looks bad on the international scene. It just shows you that the Iraq government is having a hard time dealing with corruption, especially at the official level. To make matters even worse, it says the new Iraqi Prime Minister, Soudini, who came to power via a coalition of Iranian-backed parties, does not have a strong relationship with the U.S. that could have enabled him to soften the implementation of the new financial measures. So this is the obstacle standing in the way of the Iraqi dinar, and that is they have to clean up their corruption issue. They have to do whatever it takes to have these restrictions lifted on their currency auctions and their abilities to get hard currency. It is causing the value of the Iraqi dinar to go down. I'm not sure where these people are getting all these rumors. We know that al-Soudini said that he wants to restore the Iraqi dinar to its original value, but he never said what that original value is. That could mean that he just wants to close the gap between the market and the pegged amount, restoring the Iraqi dinar's value closer to 1,450 where it was. Or is he talking about going back to the previous exchange rate of 1,190 dinars for every dollar? Well, the official rate is not 322. That's not the official rate. The official rate is 1,450. The Iraqi dinar is nowhere near that original rate at the moment at the market level. So these people running around talking about al-Soudini said he's going to restore the rate at $3.48 or $3.22 or anything else is just false. Ask those people for receipts. Where are they getting the information from? Don't tell me. They're going to tell you the back screen numbers, the military intel with their secret decoder rings and handshakes, pulling out wands out of their butt, sprinkling pixie unicorn dust all over you guys. Is that what it is? Where is any news article in which al-Soudini has stated publicly that he intends to return the rate over $3 at all? He said he would restore it to its original official rate. That is 1,450 dinars for every dollar at the moment. So you guys stay grounded. Man, these people, they get all hopped up like they're on fire and stuff, and then I come and I pee all over them with the truth, and people get pissed at me for it. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't got secret intel, blah, 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 blah. No, but I'm the one that stays grounded. Look, it's going to happen eventually. I don't think it's going to happen the way people think. But right now, certainly, there is nothing out there that indicates that al-Soudini said he's going to restore it to the $3 rate. So get receipts. Let me know where this information is coming from because I'm curious. Go ahead and leave a comment down below, and I'll look forward to reading them and getting back to you. That's it for now. I'm out.